channel, and understanding the energy of the eclipse season will give you a lot of insights into what will change and how things will change over the next 6 months. So we have eclipse seasons every 6 to 7 months or so. Next one's going to be in October, right before the elections. So we're going to dive into this. There's a lot to talk about. So we will give you a little bit of the astrology and numerology, 5 things that you need to know. There's actually 6, so but we'll still call it 5. We have some spiritual exercises that spirit or the guides that I work with recommend, and I have some divination cards. So it takes a few minutes for live people to get their notifications. I'm just going to say a few quick hellos and dive right on in. So if you guys are watching as a video, yeah, for 1 second. So hi, Brianna and Millie and Yvonne and Lisa and Mr. Floyd's channeling channel, Michael Marr. Oh my goodness, you guys have had quite a conversation before me. Suzetson, I don't know if I said Lisa, Yvonne yesterday. Laura, hi. Hi. All right, so people are still coming on. We have a little bit more water, catch my breath. It's been a long day. I've been doing readings for the last 4 hours or so my voice is a little hoarse. So if I'm a little wheezy or I'm clearing my throat a lot, I will apologize in advance. And hi, Annie Bear, welcome. So, and hi, Catherine, and yeah, again, anybody that I miss, Brianna, I think I call you, but if not, hi. I don't mean to. So let's kind of dive right on in. And it's 8 o'clock on a Friday. The vast majority of you are watching me as a video anyway. Not as many people come on live later in the evening on a Friday or Saturday. So I'm going to start out, the glasses are on, which means I mean business. There's a lot to talk about. This is a huge shift and time in our lives right now. And we have the lunar eclipse on the 25th. So 3/25/2024. If you live in Hawaii or the Marshall Islands or Guam, it's actually later in the day on the 24th. In California, it's interesting. It's right at midnight on the 25th on the West Coast. Here it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast. So it's at 5 degrees Libra. This will be the last of the series of 5-degree full moons, and we're also going to end in the solar eclipse, which is in 2 weeks on April the 8th. We're going to end the parade of 20-degree new moons. So that pretty much happens every winter because the movement of the moon and the movement of the sun kind of line, because the sun's closer to the earth. I mean, I'm not going to get too bogged down in technical stuff, but it starts to move off of those degree points. Excuse me. I warned you. Libra is Venus ruled energy. 5, the number 5 is Mercury guided numerology. So Mercury and Venus are major players. If you know what's going on in your chart, and see what houses those planets are in and what aspects, you may glean some personal information about your own life that I'm not covering in this general forecast, basically. But universally, it's also a 9-day in numerology. And 9 is very that's more action energy. That really helps to enhance the Aries. So Mars is another player because we're starting into Aries season now. We just had the spring equinox, right, a couple of days ago. 9 is Mars ruled. The 9's about completion. So there is a completion that's really taking place. It's really, getting an exclamation point on it. And I'll explain more what I mean as I go on. But this is a cycle that we've been in for a while is ending with this eclipse season. So we have the full moon. That's when the moon is at its strongest. And with the eclipse, it's very full because it's really like, opposite the sun. It's a prenumbral eclipse. We'll see it here, but prenumbral eclipses aren't the ones that the eclipses that turn really dark. Those are the types of eclipses that one side of the moon is actually darker than the other when it's in its total phase. So the sun and the moon are not in an exact alignment. Um, Now, the solar eclipse, that's going to happen right on the axis of the north and south node of the moon. When that happened, you have the strongest possible eclipse. And this solar eclipse in the south is 4.5 minutes of totality. And then when you get up to like Plattsburgh, it's down to 3 minutes, but that's well above average, especially when you consider it's in April, when it's not even when the sun is at its largest. That happens in January. So it's going to be a super new moon because the moon is very large. So it covers the whole disk of the sun. So it's a total solar eclipse. But we will get to that soon. That's another important one. So anyways, let me just, everything's in, my glasses are on, everything's in my notes. That's why I keep looking down in case you haven't guessed that yet. So eclipses every 6 months. Understanding the eclipse seasons gives you great insight into what is going to change in the world. Eclipses are known to be harbingers of change, but they happen every 6 months, roughly 6 to 7 months. Usually there's a cycle of 2. Sometimes it's a single eclipse. Occasionally there's even a third eclipse. But anyway, that's eclipse season. So health and balance are highlighted. It's Libra energy, the moon's in Libra. Reclaiming health is a big theme of this. Starting a new regimen, a new routine. Now, because eclipses deal with shadows, because there's a shadowing effect, in this case, the Earth is shadowing the moon, basically, so partially anyway. This can expose the shadow. So it's really good for shadow work. And that's in my notes later on. Because it's in Libra, the sign of balance. It's 5 degrees, which is Mercury, which is health. This can expose a lot of like the hidden health challenges that people go through. It's a universal 9-day. We talked about that a second ago. Changes in the global conflicts. 9 is Mars ruled. Mars is martial, right? War, basically the god of war. I mean, it's a lot of other things, but actions and completions are very highlighted. So this lunar cycle, again, the moment of the peak of the eclipse is the most important moment, but the effects go on through the whole waning moon and then some. Yeah, then we come into that. Now, there's not a lot of planetary aspects. It's almost all lunar aspects, but one aspect that's interesting is that Venus and Jupiter are sextiling, which is friendly planets in a friendly aspect. That's going to really be a very helpful, beneficial thing with all this intense energy from the eclipse. So that's a really good thing. Jupiter's in Taurus. And Venus will be in Pisces, right around 15 degrees, right in the middle of those signs. So this is going to, actually, it could initially cause a big hiccup in the whole global financial system, but it's also going to lead to a reset that's more likely to happen around August or September. So we may, get some more, information that comes in about, things around world currency, the economy, kind of reforming things. I'm not quite there yet in the thinking that we're going to, come into an Asara scenario, which sounds like it would be great, but I just don't feel it yet. I mean, things may kind of come to a sense where they start to reevaluate currency, try to centralize things, and try to maybe balance, because this is Libra, balance some of the discrepancies in the foreign exchanges and bring things back onto precious metal standards like the gold standard or stuff like that. But this is likely to have a lot of up and down effects with the economy. My feeling is if you know you have good investments that are safe, ride out the waves because it will get better. At least that's my feeling. All right, so what else? Venus will come into a sextile with Uranus a few days after the eclipse. So it's just starting to come into that. Uranus loves surprises, it loves revolutions, it loves changes. And again, Venus really deals with our heart, our emotions, money, love, things like that, security. and all that kind of stuff, luxury, art, creativity, the home, and all that stuff. So again, Venus is a major player. So watch your money, watch the hidden financial agendas. Don't get ripped off, scammed or stuff like that. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, I feel like as I'm talking, they're saying, the governments are probably going to try to pull something a little bit sneaky, but you guys are very, what's the right word? Savvy, so you'll be okay. But just that relationship shadows can come to light. Again, eclipses are about shadows. Venus is very much about our relationships, our close friendships, our family, love, obviously, because it's the planet of love. So things that may be a little bit upsetting. Now we're also coming into a Mercury retrograde. So I didn't write that in my notes, but it just came to my mind. Mercury is going to be almost stationed on the 25th. It'll still be moving forward, but at a snail's pace. The station starts more around roughly the 28th, and then the retrograde starts on April the 1st. So we're feeling that already. So if you've been having some snafus more than usual, computer technology, we're going to get hit with a lot of solar flares. It's going to really activate the sun. It's already extremely active. When we have coronal mass ejections, affect things in one way, but when the actual flares come in, it kind of condenses the stratosphere, and it really messes up the satellites. And the last really big solar flare that happened, we had like a bunch of satellites just fall to Earth, basically, burn up in the atmosphere or whatever. So watch the communications also. Things may go out. The internet may go out. Cell phones may go out. It'll be temporary. I don't think this will be the big one, but there may be some disruptions in communication. So be mindful of that also. Let's see what else I have in my notes. So that disrupts Mercury strongly as it approaches its station, as well as Mars. All right. So the 5 things that we need to know, I'm kind of sort of touching on that now. And hi to the people that just came in, like Angela, CC9, CC99, excuse me. And there's one other person. The first important thing to know about this lunar eclipse is sweeping global changes, of sweeping global changes in global structures over the next 6 months. Governments are likely to restructure. Countries may restructure. Wars can break out in a lot of different places now, as different factions, as it were, flex their muscles and prepare for a world event that involves a conflict that includes a lot of different countries. It's actually not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I think you know where I'm going with that. Decisions on currency may peak around August. So I have that in my notes also. But this is going to initiate some really sweeping global changes. Now, we've been having that all along. And a lot of you that have been following me or following this channel, I should say, may be aware that I've been talking about a lot of this stuff for a while. And I've been really keeping an eye on this time, 2024, especially from this eclipse season through the next eclipse season, probably into 2025. Big changes in the structures of a lot of things. Corporate structures, bank structures, government structures, all that stuff, basically. Excuse me. And so that's basically that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is restoring the balance locally and globally. So Libra is about balance. The eclipses exposes the shadows. We know things are very unjust. The word justice is really just us, right? Just us, the ones that have the money and the power, basically. So restoring the balance locally and globally. People in your life may change more than ever, which is saying a lot. And the reason I say it's saying a lot is that we've all experienced people changing their faces, so to speak. People that were good friends, even our romantic partners, turning on us, things ending. So saying that people in your life may change now when that's already been happening, really a statement that this is really going to peak. So you know what? Stay in your heart, stay in the eye of the storm. The idea is we're evolving and growing. Not everybody is. And the other thing that they're showing me is that this is about balance, but because it's about balance, and it's an eclipse, we really get a bird's eye view of what's out of balance. And everything in this world is very, very out of balance. I didn't mention much about, and that's not even in my notes, about like things like weather and climate, but a lot of geocentric activity, more volcanoes. I understand Iceland just had a big rift volcano, earthquakes, all that stuff. They show me around the middle of the country, so around the heartland may have a pretty extensive earthquake or an event or something like that. So a lot is settling and resettling, basically. And what is that for? It restores the balance. Your balance is always being restored. That's what weather does. The equator heats a lot more than the poles, so the weather, that's what drives weather, is the imbalance of the heat, the atmosphere constantly trying to restore balance. So also the plates that are moving, the tectonics of the earth are moving. So when that happens, then there's a release, an earthquake, all to try to restore the balance. So that's a key theme. Look to this period, this eclipse, and moving forward, keep your eye on that ball of what can I do to restore balance in my life. And that's one of the things we can always approach, but we'll never achieve. To be clear about that, we'll always approach the balance. We'll never quite achieve it, not 100%. So that's what I said. I had a few other thoughts come in and out of my brain. If they come back, I'll let you know. I think that's good. Oh yeah, that can be also financial, work, all that good kind of stuff. So let's go to number 3. And number 3 thing to be aware of the effects of this eclipse full moon is health changes. Now, when I say health changes, that does not automatically mean it's a bad thing. Just to be clear, that could be a good thing also. Kind of like money too. And people say, oh, there's something changing about financially, people automatically assume it's a bad thing. And we don't know, especially when Uranus is involved. It's a surprise, so it can go either way. But in any event, 5 degrees Libra. So Libra is a very kind of healing, balance kind of sign. 5 degrees is that healing degree point that's Mercury ruled. So this is really, this eclipse is really like the next step in evolution. It's like this is the shift we've been talking about since the conception of this channel in the middle of 2020, especially after 2020, because the pandemic was happening. So this is like we're coming into the crux of it. This eclipse marks the center point, or coming into that center point. So we're not in the cusp of the earth changes. We're in the heart of it now. Things are going to change. This is the next step in evolution. Humans are evolving at an extremely rapid rate. So when there's an evolutionary change, and this also goes to restoring the balance, the dichotomy, it's like stretching a rubber band until it finally snaps, basically. And sometimes you need this big clash and these energies just coming together and going all over the place, and then kind of coming back into a balance anyways. It's also that shadowy aspect because it's an eclipse. So people that have those tough to diagnose issues, which so many people have today, you'll have a better chance of getting a clear diagnosis, either something you pick up through spirit or through a medium or something like that, or through your mainstream doctors. Basically brings all imbalances to the surface. So things that are out of balance in the society, which is just about everything, right? It's like less than 0.3% of the population has over 97% of the wealth. That's very out of balance. Meanwhile, there's enough wealth to go around for all 6 billion or 7 billion people on the planet. There's enough food. Well, there's enough resources to grow enough food to feed the whole planet. So things that are out of balance. So it brings all imbalances to the surface. Of course, we're talking about health now. So these would be things that are out of balance in your body, your mind, your spirit, and so forth. And the understanding that when health is good, that means your energies are flowing smoothly and freely the way nature intended. When you're not healthy, and it's not like an end of life situation or a soul agreement or any of that stuff, it means that you have imbalances in your energetic field. It creates blocks or cogs. It changes the flows, and it creates stagnation, and that manifests as disease. So so this is going to be very good in terms of that understanding and understanding a deeper level, especially those of you that have chronic health issues or have had things that come up. This is going to give you greater insight. It may come from within, it may come from a doctor, into what's really going on, but it all comes down to balance. So what else? Boost abilities to heal, like to heal yourself and others. We are genetically predisposed, though a lot of our DNA is still dormant, to be able to heal ourselves. There are things that doctors can't heal that we have the capacity to do as we awaken, and we awaken dormant DNA, which unleashes superhuman ability. Well, they're not superhuman, but we think of them that way because we don't have them yet. Most people don't. And then we can heal things. And at the very top of that list are cancers and autoimmune conditions. These are healable conditions, but doctors don't have the answers yet. But your body, your DNA, your higher intelligence actually knows how to do that. But the trick is learning how to access that part of yourself. And that comes through a few different ways, but it starts by engaging higher frequencies. It starts to wake up, to start to activate dormant potentials that are in us. So that's good. Boosts ability to heal, helps activate dormant DNA. All right, that's in my notes too. And discover your own healing abilities. We're all healers. Some have more acumen than others, but we all have the ability to heal ourselves. What can be healed anyway, and to heal others, and all that kind of stuff. So that's 3A. 3B. As I said, I'm keeping this at 5, but 3B is frequency spike higher than ever. A lot of us follow the Schumann resonance and other markers that the frequencies are all over the place, and we feel it, especially when we're in the peak of solar activity. We're in the 11-year peak right now. And I think back around 2013, and I was going through a lot of the same things, like dizziness out of the blue. Like some days I'd be like, whoa, I just got hit by a ton of this. At the time, I didn't realize that was probably related to solar flares and solar activity. Now I know. So yeah, you guys, they're dealing with a lot of illness or a lot of chronic illness. This is going to help you basically uncover things and discovering your own healing potential. So 3B again, frequency spike higher than ever, disruptive solar flares. They're saying May, but could be in the month of May, but they could be sooner. That may interfere with things like communications, like I was talking about a little bit before. So we may have some that are actually become disruptive to the day-to-day flow on the earth. I don't think debilitating. I don't think catastrophic. I think disruptive would be a better word. But mostly it's ascension, and the symptoms of ascension will rise up more than they have as the body and your energetic fields try to keep up with the frequency. So this is called ascension symptoms, and sometimes those are behind difficult to diagnose things. I mean, I always recommend, from a legal standpoint and an intelligence standpoint, that we go to doctors, and nothing recommended on the channel is a substitute for qualified professional care. But that said, sometimes it's just adjusting to the frequencies that are going through us. It's such a rate that keeps changing. So we're going to get to the exercises in a minute to try to help address that. So number four. All right. So misbehaving and 40 years. Oh, dork. I don't think you're a dork, but okay. You can, I mean, I know it's fun to stay live, but when we end, you can go back and catch up with what I missed, because this would be important information for you guys that are having autoimmune stuff. I thought I healed a lot of my autoimmune things, but they've been kicking up a little bit recently. And I think, again, it's just a temporary glitch with the frequency. So anyways, So number 4, the grand purge, grand finale. So we've been talking about that a lot. When I did my 2024 forecast, I was telling you guys it's probably going to end in January and start to change in February. I got my timing mixed up. I admit it. I'm not always 100% accurate with the predictions, and I'll admit it when I'm not, but it's just an element of timing. But what's happening now in this eclipse season, for several different reasons, again, it's like a shadowing effect, but this is really like the fine finale of the grand purge. And then we go into the great shift after the great purge, where society really shifts. We start to shift. Those that haven't experienced awakening, and there's different types and different levels of awakening, we'll be able to do that now, basically. So this is it. So the eclipses are shadows, so it's great for shadow integration work. So step up the shadow integration work. We have a whole playlist on the channel. I have several exercises that I work with. Since you're here, you have access to that also. So very good. And I'm trying to keep a little bit of an eye on your comments without losing my flow. So anyway, so that's that. So this is kind of the end of the great purge. So what we purge energy. We purge things we don't need anymore, things that have been programmed into us from childhood and even earlier that have messed with our lives. We can purge all this stuff. We can purge the effects of like being mistreated or being abused, or whatever that it is, whatever the shadows are, whatever those subconscious patterns that hijack our emotions, cause us to act and behave in predictable ways and achieve predictable results in our lives that we're not happy about because we want something different. We have more of an access potential during this eclipse season to penetrate those veils, to get a clear idea of what it is, and to heal it. And how do you heal it? You bring the light of awareness. You focus the light of awareness on those shadows, just like a physical shadow. If you shine a flashlight on a shadow, it's no longer a shadow, gets integrated in the light. Think of your awareness as that light. Once you become aware of it, then you understand what it is, and then you can figure out how to work through that. That's where the healing journey really begins, basically. So number 5 is manifestation. All full moons are good for manifestation because the moon is a cycle. When the moon is full, the psychic energies are strong, and our intentions peak at that time. So it's a good time to light a candle. The new moons are the new beginnings. The full moon's more about the manifestation. So as you light a candle, whatever your prayers are, it can be a prayer candle, or if you're a Wicca or neo-pagan or practice that way, you can do this as a magic candle. But whatever the case, it's all intention, and it's augmented by the power of fire when you use candles. And you can place your intentions within the wax and have the fire, as it burns the wax, release that energy of your intention into the energetic ether so it can manifest in your life. So candles are really, really strong. So that's a tool that you can use for manifestation. Around the full moon, again, it's the manifestation. So you visualize, feel with all senses that what you desire is already real, and give thanks for that. Be grateful for what it is that you want, but as if it's already happened. And that's how I do that. When I do my candles, it's like I'm giving the spirit an offering because it's already happened, and I'm completing the circle. So that's how I do it. I'm completing the cycle of energy because I've already received, even if I'm not physically aware of it. If it hasn't manifested in this 3D illusion, it's still real. And I light my candle to give thanks and gratitude. Thank you for manifesting or helping me manifest. And that helps to bring it full circle. So 40-year-olds are saying, understand the moon is a spaceship. That's a very interesting theory, that has a lot of merit, by the way. Sometimes they call it a satellite, but more or less the same thing. This is an interesting side note since you brought that up. Hi, Sky King. Lost 100 pounds. Wow. I mean, is that a good thing? Oh, all in deep hypnosis. Yeah, okay. So we talked a little bit about that. very sound theory with that. I mean, the moon just happens to be the exact same diameter as the average diameter of the sun. Just happens to be exactly the same. And it's a very large moon for such a small planet. There's a lot of evidence. But what I was going to say when according to Stephen Greer, some of you know Dr. Greer and his work, especially if you're into the extraterrestrial. I certainly am. His theory on why the moon shots were doctored. I mean, people think that we never landed on the moon, which could be correct, but he believes we actually did, but they had to alter things so they wouldn't see the UFO artifacts or the spaceships or the fact that there's societies on the moon or in the moon or whatever. So you might be right. Yeah, you might be right. So anyways, where are we? Manifestation. Okay, this is very good for, because it's a lot of Venus energy. It's Libra. It's very good for, obviously, for anything that you need to balance in your life with your manifestation. But it's great for partnerships. It's great for love. It's also good for money and security, because Venus is energy kind of governs over that also to some degree. So the eclipse will aid in uncovering hidden reasons that you are not manifesting your dreams, the old programs, etc. So you'll notice these 5 steps kind of link, or these 5 important things to know about these eclipses. There's kind of a chain that attaches all of them. Again, it's the shadow, it's the eclipses. So this can help you to uncover reason why you're not manifesting your dreams. And it's always going to be programming, because you have the ability to manifest your dreams just like anybody else. You know, I was listening to Justin on what's his channel called? Really good Law of Attraction channel, but I can't remember the name of it. It's an African American man, very articulate, and who basically, it took him 5 years. He wanted to be a millionaire. It took him 5 years, but he became a millionaire basically. And the thing is, we all have that ability, but sometimes our subconscious shadows block that. And we can do affirmations that we're blue in the face. If we're vibrating at a lower frequency than what we want to create, it just ain't going to happen. So we got to do that subconscious shadow work in order that our intentions now have more power and vibrate more into the quantum field or the realm of spirit, so that we can physically manifest that also. So anyway, so we're not doing bad time-wise. It's been on a half hour. So we have our exercise. I noticed that more people came on recently. So when we end, you can catch what you missed. So heart, brain, spirit coherence. That's what I'm calling the way that I do heart, brain coherence now. They really stress that point, because heart and brain in balance. Again, we're talking about the balance. This is a very new exercise, but it's a very ancient one also. It just had different names. That's all. Once Heart Math Institute did its research and scientifically discovered that the heart is the most powerful energetic generator of the body. Things that the ancient mystics knew all along, that science is starting to prove. Then they started to experiment, and they found that this practice, has the ability to heal, has the ability to increase our immunity, to suppress the aging process, to enhance our intuition. Lots and lots of benefits. So balancing the heart and the brain, I can't even read. Perfect for Libra eclipse season. So how do we do this? And again, there's videos where I explain this in more detail, and a lot of you know this that have been on this channel for a while. But by the way, since I just was reminded, if you guys are enjoying this and would like to see more people enjoy, just hit the like button. That actually helps trigger the algorithm to let them know people are enjoying it and to push it out more. And I thank you for that. And so the spirit. So how we do this, it's really, hearts are coherent when they feel love. It's not rocket science. Nothing in spirituality is hard. It's all simple. I mean, it doesn't mean it's easy. It's somebody, I don't know if she's on, but somebody always said simple does not mean easy. That's actually true. But the reason that it's hard is us. We're getting in the way. It should be easy, but it's not. But anyway, nothing that I teach is difficult. It's all based on simplicity. Nothing when it comes to spirituality spiritual growth is complicated. Complexity is of the human ego and experience. Spirit is just that, spirit. The truth of the matter is you're already spiritual. How can you be more spiritual than you are right in this present now moment? So what is spiritual growth? A lot of spiritual teachers will tell you this. J. Krishnamurti comes to mind, the famous Indian philosopher that Bruce Lee adopted a lot of his philosophies, and that came out in his groundbreaking book on his martial arts called the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. And he'll say spirituality is not a matter of daily increase, it's a matter of daily decrease. Because how can I be more? I am spirit having a human experience. How can I be more spiritual than that? It's impossible. So it's all the stuff, all the illusions, the delusions, all the layers of programming, the layers of false information, the layers of forgetting who I am as spirit, all that stuff. You're peeling that away, and you do that through presence and through meditation and vibrating at the heart. And it's hard. It's simple, but it's hard, because when you do that, you start to dissolve the filters between subconscious and conscious, and you have all kinds of reactions, usually anxiety, because we're basically programmed from very early on our ages to think of pain as a bad thing that must be suppressed. So when we feel anxiety, which is a natural human response, it's the precursor to the fight or flight. That's what anxiety is. Your hormonal system is gearing up for a possible fight or flight situation. Now, if you're out in the woods and there's tigers gathering in the distance, that's a reason to have anxiety, so your system can gear up in case you need to call on that super burst of energy that cortisol and adrenaline can give you. That shouldn't happen when you flip on the news or a friend writes you an email. About what is it, like we spend 60% of our time in stress hormones. Yeah, well, I don't, but the average American does, 60 to 70%. So anyway, hearts are coherent when they feel love, gratitude. Hearts are incoherent when they feel stress, when they feel anxiety. That's okay. Again, if there's a danger, it really gets you very hyper vigilant on what's going on in the present moment in your physical life right around you to save your life. But the art of the warrior is to not lose your connection to spirit when faced with that. But anyway, I think I'm trying to explain too much to you guys, and I'm getting a little bit complicated here. So let me go back to more simplicity, basically. I think we covered that point. So hearts are coherent when they feel love. And what they found is the heart and the brain are really two parts of the same system. The heart is the largest electromagnetic generator in the body, and it thinks, it processes information. The brain is the transmitter and receiver of that information. So the brain is number two, basically. So the heart becomes coherent vibrationally, and you do that by being grateful. And when you're grateful, they've done those studies on that. It shows that your heart rate slows. It comes to more rhythm. It shows that your endocrine system starts to change, that the blood vessels swell in the heart, basically. And that's very good for your health. They show a lot of physical things. I mean, I can talk about the spiritual aspects also, but the basic physical things are enough for me to do this practice also. And there's a lot more of that. So when the heart becomes coherent, and hearts want to feel love, hearts want to feel grateful, hearts want to feel compassionate, that's a coherent heart. That's a vibrationally coherent heart. Then the brain locks into coherence also. And the final step of that is when I bring my heart and brain into coherence, and I'm feeling my heart expanding to my body, I start to become aware of an even greater light, an even greater heart around me. And I let my heart blend with universal heart. Now I'm in heart, brain, spirit coherence, and I'm aligned with source. I'm aligned with spirit. I do this before I channel and do mediumship because it aligns me with that energy. Okay. So there you have it. So they're stretching this point. Practice. Try to do it daily. Heart Math Institute recommends 3 times per day, 10 minutes at a time. You just get relaxed, get present. That's the first step. You get present. You stop thinking. You start being aware of your breath, your body, the space around your body. Just by doing that starts the process of bringing coherence to the heart and brain. Just by getting present, you start to expand your energetic field. You start to quiet your mind. You start to change the frequencies within you and around you. And then I become grateful just for the now, because I know everything's perfect in the now moment. Like right now, I have a headache because I've been working a lot, and I definitely feel the resistance of the lower collective, because there is that war against spirituality. They don't want people to wake up. So I'm a little bit uncomfortable now, but just because I'm in pain, does not mean, that does not take away from the perfection of this now moment. It's perfect, exactly the way it's supposed to be. And once I can get there, now, if you're new to this, think of what you're grateful for. Sometimes, like, I have a warm bed to sleep and I've got food in my refrigerator. I'm already more fortunate just by those two things than 85% of humans on this earth right now. So whatever it is, and you sit with that gratitude, you feel the heart open, feel the heart and the brain blend, feel the energy of spirit around you, feel that all blending, and you become connected in one, and then you become aligned with source, and miracles start to happen. Miracles are real, and we create that with God, source, or great spirit, or whatever name you have for that. So that's number one. So again, they're stretching that point. Do the exercise. I'll pin my latest video on the comments when this becomes a video, the latest heart brain coherence video upload that I've done. They're also saying use your body, exercise, do not stagnate. The frequencies are too up and down. We need to drink lots of water. We need to not stagnate. Now, if you're not able to exercise, maybe do some breathing exercise, or even visualize yourself moving. Guess what? Just visualizing and feeling like it's happening creates some of the physiological reaction in the bodies if you were really doing that. That's the placebo effect. They did studies with weightlifters and a control group, and had the weightlifters lifting weights every other day for an hour. The control group didn't lift a finger. They visualized, they were trained in visualization. It's not just what you're seeing. It's like, I'm feeling my muscles are aching. I'm smelling the sweat, feeling the stink or the burn or whatever. It's what they gain muscle mass too. About a third of what the group that was actually doing the physical exercise, just by visualizing it. People learn how to play piano by visualizing it. Our minds are so amazing, so powerful. These are things that they don't want us to know, because if we're not powerful, they can have power over us. When we become powerful, they lose their power over us. So that's why there's a war against spirituality. That's why it's hard, because you're working against the grain of the collective, which is not an easy thing to do. In one of my I'll pin this video also. It's 5 shadow work exercises. I show you a way that you can disconnect from the connective and be more in your own space. And yes, we're all one, we're all connected. That won't change, but there's a matter of degrees, and you can shield yourself from the negative or lower effects of the collective by doing this exercise. It involves a candle. And again, when this becomes a video, it'll be pinned for you. You'll have that. So they were also saying, so that's basically it, right? Do not stagnate. That was the main thing. So if you're not able to exercise, use visualization. I mean, if you're not able to walk, or your back is bad and you can still use your arms, exercise your arms. Yeah, just taking walks is good, but do something every day that gets the blood moving, gets the body moving, gets the energy moving. Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, things that'll move frequency through you, prana, chi through you. I do that every day myself. So that's basically that. So let's do some divination cards in case I missed any messages. And thanks you guys that are commenting and keeping the conversation alive. We're already over 40 minutes in. If I was to engage in your conversation, we'd be here all night. I want to respect your time. Your time is valuable. The fact that you're choosing to spend it with me is a great honor, and thank you. But I want to respect that also. I mean, I tend to be chatty, but I'm trying to balance that. Yeah, I'm trying to balance things that in my life also. Let me see if I can get this freaking microphone wire out of my way. So this is called the Divine Abundance deck. This will either give you an affirmation or a message. So I'm asking Spirit, give us the right message for our abundance, whether that's abundance of money or abundance of love or abundance of health. And this is the card right here. We got it. Whoa, this was not planned, by the way. This was random, I promise you. Energetic clearing. During crisis, the Holy One herself may be employing you. Employing? Oh, you think I can read with glasses on? I guess not. Oh, maybe emptying you of fear and attachment, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. Now, I do believe this is the goddess Kali here, because she's got the skulls there. These are the demons that she slayed. So this is a very powerful Vedic deity, a triple goddess. So embodies all the different aspects of the divine feminine. So that's part of the message also. So you can call on powerful helpers or guides to help you with your energetic clearing. Again, this is the finalization of the great purge now. So this is the time to clear everything that you're able to clear at this time. Call on Spirit to help. And you can tune into our transmissions here. And if you're on Patreon, on the Spirit Mind family, we do 2 extra transmissions a month. These are frequency transmission that we do with the master teachers. Most people feel it, not everybody. Some people feel it in different ways. Now they're showing me pyramids and stuff like that. So there's a lot of awakening into into our ancestry. The Egyptian equivalent, or the best that I could come up with, would be the goddess Sekhmet, the lion goddess of the star system of Vega in the Lyran system. That's where the lion and cat people came from. According to researchers, anyways. So there's that message. That's loud and clear, very succinct. Here's our frequency for the month also. I'm sorry, I'm missing your conversation. I'm just catching. You're seeing the reflection of my ring light. Okay, yeah, this is from my ring light. Also, if I was using my other glasses that are Blu-ray glasses, you would see a blue reflection, which is kind of cool in a way. Helps protect your eyes from the blue light of computer screens. Anyway, this is the sacred geometry deck. So this will give us the frequency that Spirit believes that we should be working on in this eclipse season, especially this full moon. This card right here is where they draw me to. And this is sacral chakra. Interesting. So that's the emotional center, the creative center, orange, gold, pink. The frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulates our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our lives. So if anybody's working with sacral chakra issues, I mean, physically that can be afflictions of the sexual organs or elimination organs. It can be emotional challenges like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, things of those nature. Again, if it's not a clinical thing, more like an energetic thing, and to some degree, some clinical cases too may come down to that. But if you want to just kind of relax for a second and just kind of gaze, you kind of get the message through the frequency of the sacred geometry. So work on sacral chakra stuff. This is a lot of our stuck emotions come in when we're able to balance and clear our emotions. It's watery, so we want to create a better flow. Then our intuition kicks in, because that's like the seed of intuition, the gut instincts, right? We've heard that expression. So it's kind of like the seed, of how intuition or how higher knowledge from Spirit or God or higher sources is accessible to us in our human experience, basically. So there's that. And moving right along, one more for good measure. And I have today the angel therapy card of Doreen Virtue's prior incarnation when she was an angel channel. She's in a new incarnation now in the same body. Some of you might know that. But the legacy of what she left us lives on. Here we go. So right here. So this card says heal away addictions. Again. So let me read the words. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. So the message that I'm getting, because we talked about this, as you're doing shadow integration work, and that exercise that works with Archangel Raphael is actually on that video that I'm going to pin, as soon as I'm done here. And every time I do a live stream, I've got to reboot the internet. It's Catskill Mountains thing. I don't know, but anyway, call on Archangel Raphael to support your shadow integration work. I think that's the message, reminding me to say you can call on your guides, your angels, great spirit source, or God to work with you to enhance the experience of what you're doing, what you're working on. So anyway, that's what I have for you. Yeah, that is an amazing card. I'll hold that up for a second. You took a screenshot. Good for you. 8:53:88. So lots of eights. Yeah, when you posted that. So Sunday we have tarot time at 11. That's kind of almost become our weekly community hangout. We do some tarot, but we also interact a lot with that. So if you like that kind of community interaction, come in live 11 a.m. Eastern time every Sunday, unless I have to cancel, which happens, 2 or 3 times a year or so. Monday, Heather Istara and myself will be doing energy transmissions on the day of the eclipse. So the eclipse is going to happen very early in the morning. So when we get on Monday, the eclipse will have already taken place, but we'll still be very much in that energy. So that's going to help to enhance the effects in a positive way. So that's what I got for you. Yeah, I love tarot time also. Yeah, I should have checked what Chiron's in Aries, right? Or I don't know. I think Chiron's hanging around the North Node, but I might be mistaken. I should have checked that. Chiron and the other asteroids are important also. All right. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I love you. We're going to end now. Thanks for hanging out here for almost an hour with me. Love you.